Imagine waking up in a world where nobody can speak. There are no words, no names, no conversations, and no way to ask for help. If you wanted food, needed to warn someone about danger, or wanted to share an idea, how would you do it? It sounds impossible today, but this was once the reality for our earliest human ancestors. So, how did humans invent language? Let's travel back hundreds of thousands of years to uncover one of the greatest mysteries in human history. Language is one of the biggest reasons humans became the most successful species on Earth. Every day, we use words to ask questions, tell stories, teach children, make plans, and express emotions. Yet, unlike tools, bones, or ancient buildings, spoken language leaves almost no physical evidence behind. That makes its true origin one of the hardest puzzles scientists have ever tried to solve. Long before humans spoke using words, they almost certainly communicated through facial expressions, body movements, hand gestures, and simple sounds. Just like chimpanzees, wolves, elephants, and many other animals today, our ancestors could warn each other about danger, call for help, or express fear and excitement. These early forms of communication were simple, but they helped people survive. Imagine a group of early humans hunting together. One person points toward an animal, another signals everyone to stay quiet. Suddenly, someone notices a dangerous predator and shouts loudly. Even without real language, these simple signals could save lives. Communication was already becoming one of humanity's greatest survival tools. Scientists believe our closest relatives, chimpanzees and bonobos, offer important clues about the earliest stages of communication. They use dozens of different sounds, gestures, and facial expressions to interact with each other. Although their communication is much simpler than human language, it shows that the roots of language may have existed millions of years before modern humans appeared. As human brains became larger through evolution, people became better at remembering information, solving problems, and working together. This created a new challenge. Simple gestures and sounds were no longer enough. Humans needed better ways to explain ideas, teach skills, and organize larger groups. Researchers believe language did not suddenly appear one day. Instead, it probably developed slowly, over hundreds of thousands of years. Each generation made small improvements that were passed down to the next. Over time, communication became more organized and much more powerful. At first, early humans may have created simple sounds to represent important objects or actions. One sound might mean water, another could mean food, another might warn of danger. These sounds allowed people to communicate much faster than gestures alone. As communities grew larger, communication became even more important. Parents needed to teach children how to make tools, find food, build shelters, and avoid dangerous animals. The better people communicated, the better their chances of survival. Eventually, humans began combining sounds into simple patterns. Instead of using one sound for one idea, they could connect several sounds together to create more detailed meanings. This was one of the biggest steps toward true language. Language also made teamwork much easier. Hunters could plan strategies before chasing animals. Gatherers could explain where food was growing. Families could organize daily tasks more efficiently. Better communication meant better cooperation, and better cooperation meant greater survival. Scientists still debate exactly when fully developed language first appeared. Some believe modern humans began speaking around 100,000 years ago. Others think earlier human species such as Neanderthals may have already used simple spoken language. Because spoken words leave no fossils behind, there is still no definite answer. One important clue comes from the human body. Modern humans have a unique vocal tract and a small bone called the hyoid bone that helps control speech. Fossils suggest Neanderthals had a similar hyoid bone, leading some scientists to believe they may have been capable of complex speech as well. Another clue comes from genetics. Researchers discovered a gene called FOXP2 that plays an important role in speech and language development. Changes in this gene may have helped ancient humans gain better control over their voices, making spoken language far more advanced than that of any other animal. As the language improved, humans gained an incredible advantage. Instead of learning only through personal experience, they could now learn from others. Knowledge could be shared, remembered, and passed from one generation to the next. Every generation started with more knowledge than the one before. Language also made storytelling possible. Around campfires, people shared stories about dangerous animals, successful hunts, brave ancestors, and mysterious places. These stories entertained listeners while teaching valuable survival lessons that children could remember for years. Over time, stories became history. Communities could preserve important events, traditions, and beliefs through spoken words long before writing was ever invented. Language became the foundation of culture itself. Planning was another huge advantage. Humans could discuss tomorrow's hunt, decide where to move next, or organize the construction of shelters before any work even began. Very few animals can plan this far into the future using communication. As humans spread across Africa, Europe, Asia, and eventually the rest of the world, groups became separated by mountains, deserts, rivers, and oceans. Over thousands of years, their languages slowly changed. Different words, sounds, and grammar developed in different regions, creating thousands of unique languages. Eventually, humans invented writing. Ancient civilizations such as Mesopotamia and Egypt began recording information on clay tablets and stone monuments. Writing allowed ideas to survive even after the speaker had died. Laws, trade records, scientific discoveries, and historical events could now be preserved for future generations. As civilizations grew, languages became even more complex. New inventions required new words. Farming, religion, government, science, and trade all expanded human vocabulary. Language continued evolving alongside civilization itself. Even today, language never stops changing. New words appear every year because technology and culture continue to evolve. Words like internet, smartphone, and emoji did not exist just a few decades ago, yet now they are understood by millions of people around the world. Scientists estimate that more than 7,000 languages are spoken today. Some are used by hundreds of millions of people, while others are spoken by only a few small communities. Sadly, many languages disappear every year as fewer people continue speaking them. One mystery still remains unsolved. What was the very first word ever spoken? Was it a warning about danger, a name for food, a call to family members, or something completely different? The truth is that nobody knows. That first word disappeared long before writing existed, leaving behind one of history's greatest mysteries. What scientists do know is that language was not invented by one person on one particular day. It evolved slowly through countless generations of people trying to communicate a little better than before. Every improvement made cooperation easier, knowledge stronger, and civilization more advanced. Without language, there would be no schools, no books, no science, no history, no governments, no music with lyrics, and no internet conversations. Nearly everything that makes human civilization possible depends on our ability to communicate through words. So, how did humans invent language? The answer is that they probably didn't invent it all at once. Language evolved gradually through gestures, sounds, cooperation, and an ever-growing need to share ideas. It became humanity's greatest invention, not because one person created it, but because millions of people improved it together over hundreds of thousands of years. Every time you speak, read, write, or listen, you're using one of the oldest and most extraordinary achievements in human history. Language is far more than words. It is the foundation of civilization, connecting our past, shaping our present, and helping build our future.